All right, in this example, we're going to work on the following problem. It says write a JavaFX program that lets the user enter a loan amount and loan period in a number of years and displays the monthly and total payments for each interest rate, starting from 5% to 8% with an increment of 1/8 of a percent. The user interface should include two text fields, one for the loan amount, one for the button for the number of years. The user interface should also contain a button. When the user clicks the button, the results should be displayed in a text area. The next slide shows an example run. So it looks like this. Okay, so this is actually a problem that I have for my Java 1 class without the GUI part. So you can just enter the loan amount here. Okay, and it will do that. So I'm not going to do this part. So basically, I usually tell people, hey, here's the solution of that from Java 1. Okay, and so what we're going to do is adapt this to a JavaFX program. All right, so first off, we are going to start up with a class. I'm just going to call mine loan table FX, and it's going to extend application. And let's go ahead with the import. So that's JavaFX dot application JavaFX dot scene JavaFX dot stage JavaFX dot scene dot layouts dot asterisk import JavaFX dot scene dot controls dot asterisk scene. Okay, so and then we need to implement the start method. So public void start stage. And let's see, it doesn't matter. Let's just go with pane as the root component. And create a scene object. And let's make this one, I guess, fairly large. Let's go 800, 600. And then stage dot set scene with the new scene that we made. Set the title to loan table. And then stage.show. All right, it's layout and control here. All right, there we go. All right, and now this should run. Looks good. All right, so next up is the controls that we're going to need, the nodes or components, whatever you want to call it. We are going to need two text fields a button, and a text area, which is new, right? We haven't talked about that one before. So let's go ahead and make those. So button equals new button, and let's just put calculator or something like that on there, and 2 text fields, one for the amount, one for the time. I believe that's what we wanted, right? Just double checking. One for the loan amount, one for the number of years. We're going to need some labels for those as well, right? So label years, amount label. Label years label. Okay. Two text fields, and now the text area. Like so. All right, and now let's start relocating these inside of the text field, or inside of the pane. So amount label dot relocate, and let's just go with 100, 100. And for the amount text field, let's go with 200 and 195. For the years label, let's go with 300, 100, and let's make this 95, not 195. And let's make this text field for the time. Let's make that 495. The text area, let's just put it at 100, 200, and the button, we need to put, let's just put that at, just to hopefully keep things easy, let's put it at 500, 100. Hopefully that'll work out okay. And of course that didn't work out okay, right? Because of the fact that I forgot to actually add anything in there. Okay. So that's root dot get children dot add all, and then the button, the amount label, the years label, the amount text field, the time text field. And I don't like that. So let's change that to years. And the text area, I think that's it. All right, hopefully this doesn't look too bad. Okay, it doesn't look great, but let's see, how can we fix that? Okay, let's first off just move this back up to the top. So I want to move this up a little bit and over this way a little bit. So that's a mount label. So let's just go with 50 instead of 100. That'll move it about halfway up here. And then I want it back a little bit, like 50 right here. So all of these are going to be 50. Okay, so that'd be 50 on the amount label, and then 150 here. And then should come this 200. All right, that's looking a little bit better. Still not great. So let's see, what do I need to move? I need to take this text field, the second text field. And move that farther out. And years label is still not showing up, so that needs to be moved farther out. That's probably hidden by this text field right here. There it is. All right, better. So the button still needs to go farther out. Let's go 650. All right, still doesn't look great, but it looks better. Now the text area, I'd like to make that a lot bigger. So let's take a look at that. So let's go to, let's try to do set pref height and set max height. So let's do text area, set pref width, and let's make it, the width right now is 600, so let's go 500, and then it's here at 100. All right, 50, 100 down. So let's make that go to let's see, that would give you a margin of 100 and another 100. So let's go to 600 there and see if that'll work. So the width and text area dot set. All right, so hopefully that will max it out. It depends if it's on some other things in there. Okay, so that did make it bigger, but that I kind of want it bigger the other way. So that should be 600 and 500. All right, there we go. Not great, but it's workable now. Okay, so otherwise I'm going to be spending way too much time doing this, which I already have spent way too much time doing this. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. And now what we want to do is we want the user to be able to type in the amount and the years inside here, and then we want to be able to press the user to press the calculate button, and it display the loan table here. Okay. So for the button, right, we are going to go button.set on action. And we're going to call this method calculate loan table. And down here, we are going to have a method called calculate loan table, and in that we are going to do the operations right on that we need to do. We're going to get the value out of the amount and out of the years text field and make those calculations. Okay. All right. So the first thing that we're going to have to do, right, is when we go to calculate the loan table is to get the value for the years. Or let's say amount string. And remember, we're going to use this code. So in this code over here that we're going to adapt, I called it loan amount. Okay. So let's call it loan amount here. Or actually, when we convert it, we'll call it loan amount. So what we're going to do is get out of the amount text field, we're going to get the value that the user typed in. All right, so that is going to be amount text field dot get text. And we're going to do the same thing for the years. All right, so remember if you were watching the previous video, right, that's going to give you an error when you try to do that because these text fields are declared in this start. Okay, and so that's going to be a problem. So what we have to do is go up here and declare those text fields up here. There are other ways to do this, but really I'm not going to dwell on that too much because of the fact that remember we said that all along we've been saying that that typing everything into one class is not going to work when our applications get more complicated. And you can already see, right, we're starting to have to type in a lot of stuff in here. Having everything crammed into one class is really not the way to have it organized. Also, once you move these up here as fields, then make sure you take these out, right? I had some trouble with that in the last video, and it tripped me up because I forgot to take that out. So that should get rid of those two errors. Okay. And then for the time being, let's just assume that the user does everything perfectly and types everything in, and of course that's hardly ever the case. So we're going to get these two variables, loan amount, and we're going to convert the amount string variable to a double. And same thing on the years string. All right, and so what that lets us do is nicely put our this code that we have here. And actually years is an int, so we need to make a note of that. And I'm just going to paste it right in here. So since years is an int, we should do integer.parseInt. All right, and let's see if that'll go. I have one too many of okay, seems okay. All right, and so right now what I'm going to type in these values here. And then when I hit calculate, it's going to display down here in the down in the console. Right, there's the loan table. Okay. Now what I want it to do is to display up here. Man, I don't like that I have to keep resizing this. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit to that. And that was a little too much. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to display this text right inside of the text area. So what I'm going to do is build up a string as I go through. I'm going to use string builder for that. So string builder. You can just use a regular string if you want to. And then it would be sb dot append instead of print. And then here it would be sb dot append and then string dot format. Another close parenthesis at the end of this line because I added a new one at the beginning. All right, so there we go. So that should build up a string, and then what I'm going to do is I want to do, and now it's been a while, so hopefully this will go text area dot set text. It might be slightly different, sb dot toString. You might wonder, why am I using string builder instead of string? Well, string builder is slightly more efficient when it comes to processing large amounts of text. Not that this is a huge amount of text, but you know, it can significantly, if you use string for large amounts of text, it could significantly slow down your application. Not like we really have to use it here. It's probably overkill, but anyway. All right, and then what I'm going to try and do here is to set the text inside that I just generated. I'm going to set the text of the text area to be this, whatever's in the string builder, okay, which should be that table. And with the string builder, if it's expecting a string, you need to call toString, okay, and that will return a string. All right, let's try it and see if it works. All right, again, I have the issue that text area is declared in my start method, so that's not going to work because I'm trying to call it out of that method. So I'm going to have to move it up here. And that compiles. All right, and now hopefully this will get us what we want. All right, looks okay, except it's displaying the first line of the table. So it looks like I need a /n in there somewhere. And that would be at the end of this line here of the header line. All right, that doesn't look great. These things aren't lined up because of the font, so probably should move that total payment over slightly. All right, so it looks slightly better. So anyway, you can see here I am using the text area, and again, the text area, the difference between text field and text area. Text field is one line of text, that's it. Right, text area is, as you can see, multiple lines of text. All right, the only other issue that we have, well, the only other major issue is that if the user types in some garbage for the years or the amount, then we are going to get a large number of errors here. And those errors occur when we try to convert this, do these conversions, okay? So that should be in the try. Put this in a try block. In fact, all of this, right? And then we'll have a catch block with number format exception E, and then we will spawn an alert, right? Alert equals new alert, and this is alert dot error. And We will need the import for that, which is import JavaFX dot scene dot control dot alert dot asterisk on that one, I believe. No, it's alert type. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. And then alert dot set header text. And then set content text. You entered whatever they entered. Okay, and let's see. I think we can set a title on this. Set title. All right, let's try that. All right, so enter a valid value. That looks fine. If I enter a bad value here, oops, I forgot to. You can see I'm not getting the errors anymore, but I forgot to call alert.show and wait here to pop up the alert. All right, so that looks pretty good. One of the issues here, and you might wonder, why did I have e.getMessage right here? That's because if I don't really know which line caused the issue right here. I don't know if it's a mount string or year string. So one way you could do that, right, is to get the is just to get this message right from the exception object. All right, and you can see it did a pretty good job of doing that. So over here, if I type a valid value, and I type an incorrect value in this other one, right, you can see I get this message: you entered for input string 2.4, which is invalid. Okay, so all you would have to do is to get rid of this part for input string. Okay, which is pretty easy. So you would just find where that colon is. So if I did e.getMessage dot substring, and then e dot get message dot index of comma and then +2. So that will figure out where the comma is, and then this will skip the space, right? And then it will start where that quotation mark is. And then it will take the substring starting from there where that first double quote is, and then go to the end of the string. So that should work now. And get message, I forgot the open and close parentheses here. All right, and so now you can see I get a decent message right here. All right, and so that's one way to handle it, because it could have been either of these two boxes that caused the error. Another way to handle it, right, is to pass when you have your lambda expression here. If you you can pass this exception object, but actually that won't help you here because it's the button that's when I click the button, I'll be down here and it will trigger this. So I guess this is probably the cleanest way, the way things I've got it set up to show back to the user what went wrong. Okay. All right, and that is it on this one.